that time again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Engine Room, brought to you by TokenMetrics.com. This podcast comes to you 3 days a week. Today is Tuesday, December 28th, and I've got Mr. Jacob Koch-Gallup here to help us run through some of the current events that are going on right as we bring 2021 to a close. Jacob, what's going on, man? Happy to see you.
Happy to see you too, Dylan. Got a haircut, fresh cut, so
yeah, man.
No longer have the flow going on.
Well, we will miss most of you. Let's talk about DAOs, and we'll later talk about NFTs. I think most people who are listening to a podcast like this are probably already pretty familiar with Constitution DAO, which was a group of people that set out to buy a historical copy of the Constitution. They were unfortunately not successful in that pursuit. But this was kind of the first time that DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, popped up on the map in a big way. Suddenly there's this person bidding on behalf of a number of people at a Christie's auction for a piece of history, a bunch of people chipping in together to basically buy the Constitution. Now, all that said, we have a new DAO that's kind of making the rounds this week, and it's called BlockbusterDAO. And just as there are people who wanted to buy the Constitution together, there are people who want to buy Blockbuster together. Now, probably some younger folks might need a little refresher, but Blockbuster used to be, and still is, in Bend, Oregon. There's still one physical location left. Blockbuster is/was the place to go to rent your VHS tapes and later your DVDs. After the DVD took off, Blockbuster went downhill real fast. But it still holds a wonderful nostalgic place in a lot of people's hearts, so much so that there's a new DAO all about buying Blockbuster and revitalizing it. We talk a lot about DeFi on this podcast and in other token metrics outlets, but this is about DFilm. Yes. DFilm. No apologies for the pun have been made yet, but that's the working name for what they're going for here. The Blockbuster DAO wants to bring DFilm to life by revolutionizing Blockbuster as a streaming platform to compete with Netflix. Jacob, what have I missed here? What else do we need to let the people know about?
Yeah, so kind of the roadmap or white paper for Blockbuster DAO was tweeted. It was a long Twitter thread on Christmas or December 25th. They kind of laid out their plans. First of all, Blockbuster DAO intends to raise $5 million to purchase Blockbuster from Dish Network, who currently owns it. Dish Network is an American television provider, and they bought it in 2011. And Blockbuster DAO aims to raise this cash by selling Blockbuster DAO NFTs. Like many other DAOs, they sell NFTs as memberships, and these NFTs are going to go for 0.13 ETH, around $530. They want to raise $5 million because I think there was a reported offer that someone was trying to lowball and buy Blockbuster for $1.8 million. So they're trying to beat any counter offers. And then what's super interesting is then once they buy Blockbuster, they have the intellectual property. Then they can go off running, and they can really take off their DFilm or decentralized film streaming service. So first they want to run the film festival circuit and start buying films. So then once they buy all these films, then and they're gonna kind of give a movie pass subscription model. So instead of like buying a Netflix or Disney Plus subscription membership, you're buying a Blockbuster DAO subscription membership for streaming, and then these are going to be NFTs or ERC20 tokens, which will have resale value. And then what I find very interesting is that on the end of their Twitter long Twitter thread, it says, "When are we successful? 1, when we win an Oscar and a Golden Globe for Blockbuster original film." So they're going to, similar to Netflix, create their own original films and hopefully have their own studio and where they create these films. Then they want to reach $1 billion in annual recurring revenue, and when they lead all DAOs in total value locked. So they have plans for the moon.
Yeah, it's a kind of a reassuring thought to know that this isn't just some half-baked, like, wouldn't it be cool to own Blockbuster? Like, they actually have a vision and some goals attached to this. It's not just about buying this close to defunct business, but it's about turning it into like a force to be reckoned with. Personally, I mean, I am exactly of the age where I have lots of nostalgic memories going to Blockbuster and leaving with VHS tapes back in the day.
Yeah, I mean,
so I'd be excited to see it. I'd be excited to see this work out.
Yeah, I mean, and it seems like it's already starting to take off. They have 8,000 followers on Twitter. I'm looking at some mutuals, so it looks like obviously there's some smart money following them. And I mean, it's Forbes,
more than
crypto.
3,600, more than 3,600 people in the Discord.
Yeah, Forbes, crypto, CoinGecko, Business Insider. So there's a lot of news and high stream media following them.
Anyway,
I also see something very funny that they tweeted is Blimp DAO. We're gonna buy a blimp. Hashtag WAGBAB instead of WAG me. We're all gonna make it. We're all gonna buy a blimp. So
yeah, I dig it. Well, speaking of other nostalgic businesses, right adjacent to Blockbuster, we have to talk about GameStop.
Yeah.
Of course, GameStop is another seemingly unkillable company. It was hated and hated by Wall Street institutions for a long time. There were more shares shorted than there were shares available to buy, and that of course caused the short squeeze earlier this year, early 2021. But now, surprise of surprises, GameStop is revealing an NFT play. Jacob, I haven't had the chance to go too deep on this. What do we need to know about GameStop throwing its hat into the NFT ring?
Yeah, so GameStop is planning on making their own NFT marketplace, so an OpenSea competitor. And there's really not much on this whatsoever. So I think it was May earlier this year they kind of hinted at making an NFT marketplace, and then now the website's up, but on or part of the website, their page for the NFT, there's really not much information. All it is this is for the people, it's for gamers, and we're looking for creators. So then it asks you like 6 questions. What do we call you? What NFT projects have you created? What's your company or organization? Why do you want to be involved in NFT in our NFT platform? And that's it. But we can kind of go into the weeds, and I think this was a Coin Market Cap article that really went into the weeds of their job postings. So there's one job opening for head of Web3 gaming. So that kind of indicates to us that the company wants to establish a foothold into the metaverse with a strong focus on the gaming industry. So they're going to obviously use these NFTs as wearables or digital pieces in the games, locations and environments for players to immerse themselves in. And they also are hiring people for NFT marketing, software engineering, and Web3 gaming. With the description of these job openings is people who can build something from scratch. So that means that there's not something fixed or some fixed template that they're working with. It may mean that they haven't even created this NFT marketplace yet. So they're looking for people to really build this from the ground up. Lastly, we can see also on the website, there's an Ethereum smart contract address. So it doesn't really give us any information, but it tells us that the NFT marketplace will be using Ethereum, the Ethereum blockchain, to use its sales. And also it appears that the GameStop's NFT marketplace will be compatible with Ethereum Layer 2 products. So that means that this will kind of help reduce the gas fees and transaction fees. So yeah, it seems like it's memeable. It seems like they're hiring people who know what they're doing, but obviously we have yet to see really any concrete anything.
Yeah, I'm paying I should say I was paying a lot of attention to GameStop earlier this year, and I remember a big part of the plan that was supposedly going to save GameStop and help it restore its former glory was that in the long term, the GameStop retail locations would become a place where you would build high-end gaming PCs, which it sounds like a great idea on paper. It gets me excited just thinking about it. So I'd be very, very interested to see if they can figure out a way to combine an NFT marketplace with some kind of brick and mortar experience. Maybe buying a certain NFT gets you a discount on anything you buy at the store, or I can certainly imagine them like selling NFT based tickets to events at their stores. So
yeah, I mean, they could also
curious to see what happens.
They could make their brick and mortar stores kind of a virtual reality hub. They could just clear out everything and just have Oculuses or any other virtual reality headsets. Even I've seen virtual reality where you are literally in a little a circle treadmill where you can actually walk. If they fill out all their stores with that, then you go there, you pay X amount per hour to use that, and then also you need their NFT or whatever to play the games that are compatible, that they sell the NFTs on their marketplace. And then you are combining the virtual reality and their kind of bid to the metaverse with brick and mortar stores, which you need these resources to access the metaverse and be fully immersed, but it's thousands of dollars to buy all of this equipment. And if they have all these brick and mortar stores laying around, then might as well equip it with virtual reality headsets and virtual reality treadmills and maybe gloves and clothing like they have in Ready Player One.
Just a matter of time until we get the metaverse that we were promised in science fiction.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I think that'll do it for this episode of Engine Room. Jacob and I want to thank you for being a listener and being a subscriber. If you like these faces, there's only more of this where you're getting it. Subscribe to Token Metrics on YouTube if you like what we're saying, what we're doing. We're basically here to help you sort signal from noise in the rather noisy world of crypto. And yeah, happy to be doing it with a team like Jacob.
Yep. Awesome.
Till next one.